So now that I've been using Claude, Claude Code and everything else in between for over 6 months now, I've learned quite a few interesting tips, tricks, features and stuff just to get the most out of Claude and Claude Code. So first up is a feature of Claude Code, which I thought everyone knew, but I realized actually a lot of people don't even realize it exists and they can do. It's going to sound very basic for those who already use it and maybe already understand how Claude Code works. But the idea is that you can give Claude Code access to a bunch of code that has already been made by someone else or by something else and have it explain to you what it does and also build on top of it. I'm going to show you an example here, which I've already given it access to, but I just want to show for demonstration purposes. I have a WordPress build of my personal website, olia.com. I built this website. I think the first sort of version of it is like 2012, 2013, something crazy like that, way back. And I've iterated it along the way. There's some custom code in there that I've handwritten. And there's, of course, AI code now that I'm using AI to build on top of it. So I can just give it access to the folder and I can have it explain this project to me. And then it will start going through all the files, understanding the project, and then coming back to me with what this folder is, what is in this folder. Surprisingly, a lot of Claude Code users don't actually know that you can even do this. They sort of just think that you have to build something within Claude Code and then you're limited to whatever you've built in Claude Code and working on those projects. That is not the case. You can bring in any project that someone else has made, that you've made. Maybe you've used ChatGPT or maybe you've used some other AI generation tool or whatever to make code. You can bring it in here and have it explained to you and sort of understand the project for you. So we can see here it's found that it's a WordPress website and I'm using an app called Local to run it locally on my machine. And then there's a README file as well. It's come up with all the files and stuff in there. You can see that it's a personal portfolio and blog of Olia, me. And then I can see other things in there. So I can see which version I'm on. I'm on version 28. That's how many versions I've made of this bloody website. And I can see I have a custom homepage, some resources, a photo feed, some sort of custom elements. And then you can also see some plugins that I'm using as well. So it now understands my project and it can now help me do things to it. I can make adjustments to it. I can make customizations to it, which is exactly what I do. I don't even touch the code anymore for my personal website. So I have Claude Code or whatever AI agent that I'm feeling right now to just make edits to the website. And then I can have it automatically upload to my actual live website. Yeah, I feel like this should be something that everyone knows and most likely a lot of people will, but I just want to make it clear that you are not limited to what you make in Claude Code. You can bring in anything you like. Next up is a feature with Claude Cowork. So I think most people generally know what Claude Cowork is and how it works. However, again, you're not limited to what you have on your machine. You can give it access to a folder on your machine. You can have it sort of give you reports and stuff. Maybe you chuck in a bunch of PDFs, a bunch of data into a folder and then give it access to that folder and then have it generate information for you. However, you can also connect it to things like your Google Drive, like your Google Docs, like your calendar, whatever it might be, and help you generate things with all of those tools and services all together in one place. This is just a quick one, but I just want people to know how powerful this is. This also leads us well into connectors, which is technically MCPs, but Claude like to call it connectors. And with connectors, basically, again, like Claude Cowork, which I just mentioned, you can connect it to things. So you can see here, I've connected mine to ClickUp, Framer, GitHub, GoDaddy, my calendar, Hicksfield, Instant Domain Search, N8N, Superbase, vidIQ. I also have some other ones here. But the idea is that you can connect it to whatever you like. So you can add a connector, you can browse for connectors, and there is an absolute ton of stuff here. It's insane what you can do. So the idea is that instead of you having to go to these specific services and apps that you already pay for, you can have them linked within Claude and then have them work together. So maybe you can have something like email schedule through Brevo. Maybe you can have something like whenever you have an email coming through your inbox for a calendar meeting or whatever, a time, whatever, it can automatically add it to your calendar. The idea is that everything can work together within Claude, and you can use Claude to almost be like the orchestrator of your life, of your tools, or of your services. And MCPs/connectors are what really help amplify that and make it a lot more powerful. Something which Claude can be very powerful at is helping you plan things. So for example, I'm going to Manhattan next week. Plan a 3-day trip for me around the city. Direct me towards restaurants shops that I would like. There we go, bang that in. And this is what I really love about Claude. It's gone off of my previous chats, so the context, the things that it knows about me. Then not only has it just made a list of things which most AI tools will make, this has actually made me a map and sort of sorted out the routes so that I can actually do these things each day rather than have to go from one part of the city to the other. You can see here, organized into walkable neighborhood clusters so you're not crossing the city constantly. And we can see here, sort of made a list of things that I can do in the morning, where I can go for breakfast, coffee, even though I don't drink coffee anyway, but some of the shops in the area for the morning, and then the afternoon where I can go for lunch, go to a fragrance place because I'm into my fragrances. It seems to randomly sort of know that I'm into my fragrances right now because of a previous chat that I was sort of talking with it about. Anyway, that's day one, and then day two, it also comes up with another list of things that I can do, and then day three. And like, it's all in a map, and it shows me how I can do this thing. And it even shows me the route that I need to take and the subway. So if I need to take the subway, it can sort all that out for me. It is just unbelievable how powerful this is and how it makes planning things and sort of organizing trips and wherever I'm going a lot easier. Next up is actually related to this. So now that it's made this for me, I can have it do something like make this into an artifact for me. Okay, so it's made the artifact for me. It's decided to make this in HTML and CSS, but you can actually just ask it to make it in various different file formats. But it's found that HTML and CSS makes the most sense. I've not given it any other prompt here other than make this artifact for me. And what it's done here is that it's made me a website, a stylish looking website, that is the itinerary of the sort of 3-day trip that I'm going to have in Manhattan. And yeah, this is pretty amazing. And I can probably take it a step further. I can get it to add some images of the places. It already has the direction links in there. I can call them as well. It gives me some notes, and then I can share this with other people. So maybe I host it on a website or something, or I change it into a PDF. I can give this to other people who are maybe coming on the trip with me and share it with them so that they can see what we have planned. This is very, very powerful. So you're now taking your research and your chat and putting it into an artifact that you can share with other people. Another thing that I found, which may be very obvious to some, but to others, they don't even know it exists. But most people are just used to putting their prompt into the chat box and then just hitting enter. However, you can change how your prompt is delivered and what it does and what the AI agent does. So of course we can change the models here with the more models. We can see we had Fable 5, but as I'm making this video, Fable 5 is now unavailable because the US government has banned it. But you can change the models and stuff, but you can also change the effort. So high is default for mine, but then you also have other sort of effort settings as well, and then you have a thinking setting as well, so you can have it sort of spend a bit more time giving you a result. This all very much changes how quickly the result is delivered, what type of result is delivered, all that sort of stuff. I usually mess around with this depending on what I'm searching for. So if I'm just looking for quick answers for something, I'll just have like low effort and I'll remove thinking. But for something like this, where I'm building a trip, I want it to spend a bit more time thinking. I want it to go back and use the context and other conversations that I've had with Claude so that it understands me and what I like, and then deliver something that I'm going to like. And yeah, I would very much recommend playing around with this, seeing what you like, because as well, if you use the lower effort ones and you use the older models, you save on tokens. I'll be honest, on the plan that I'm on the $200 a month plan. I've not come close to being maxed out. I know others have, but if you're someone who does max out their subscription, whether you're on the $20 one, $50 one, $100, $200, whatever it might be, I'd recommend messing around with these and seeing how you can reduce your token usage. So those are just some of the tips and tricks that I know. I'll leave a link to some others in the description as well if you're trying to learn more about Claude Code, and how to get the most out of it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.